It is my turn.
Yay.
Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome to another Film Cave.
Edition?
Film Cave edition?
Episode?
Edition awesomeness. That's Steve. I'm Casey. Let's do this.
Let's do this.
Alright, so last week we talked about blockbuster trailers and them being far too many.
Too many. Way too many.
So today we're going to kind of wrap up that whole topic by bringing in and mentioning franchise trailer fan service.
Okay.
Do the trailers, do they pay too much service to fans that are already out there by throwing in winks and nods and wink, wink, nudge, nudge? Do bankable franchises rely too heavily on winks and nods to those already initiated to the franchise, and does it isolate an audience that isn't familiar with said franchise?
Okay, that's a long question.
It is a long question.
Okay, well, I don't see a problem with it. However, the Star Wars trailer went overboard with it. I think it was too much. It was
just right at the very end.
It was totally unnecessary. I think that's kind of what brought up this whole topic.
Right.
We all know they're going to be in it. There's no reason to bring them up at the end for him to say one line. You know, it was kind of like bringing them in to do a one-liner for a movie, and then that's all they have to do with it. It wasn't worth it. It wasn't necessary and not good. But I don't think it's a problem. I think I kind of like little nods like that. When they're well done, when they're subtle, more subtle than that. But yeah, I don't have a problem with it. I think it's fine.
I don't really. I mean, I don't have a problem with it either. I guess.
Right. Is that it?
Yeah, that's no.
I think it has to do with more of like, are there too many franchises out there? Are there too many reboots, sequels, prequels? Based off a book, based off of an older movie remake, kind of stuff like that. Right. So is it more of like the people who don't know much about it, or maybe know about it? Is it more geared towards those people who are already watching it, or are they trying to, or should they open it up to people who haven't seen the franchise or aren't introduced to it before this last one came out?
Right. Well, I think they do a good job. I think they do a good job of both. I mean, yes, there are too many franchises.
Yes.
And too many trailers, but that being said, they do a good job of getting new people excited, but then also throwing those kind of those nods to fans like us or whatnot. Like, I mean, it seems kind of, I guess it seems kind of tacky, but it doesn't ruin anything.
Right, I think it works, but then also I think it also brings up the ideas of, for like me, having not necessarily seen it in theaters, like having to do with Star Wars,
right?
Having with new ones coming out now, I want my daughter to go and see the original ones and then come see this one with me.
Right.
Like, that would be cool. So that brings up the topic of going to see the other ones, catching up, and seeing the other ones to kind of get those nods that are going to happen in the movie as well, and then with the trailers as well. So these characters from the past that they're bringing back. So it goes. You can go back and watch all these movies leading up to it, and then go see it, and then you kind of enjoy the movie more.
Right. Yeah. Do you think that, I mean, like, the point of so many of these franchise movies, like, shouldn't these films like try and reach out for a broader audience as well? Do you think they do a good enough job of doing that?
Do you think? Okay. Well, I think that. Well, yeah. I think the movies themselves are original enough as a sequel that it could. It's not like it's closed-minded as to only the people who have seen this before are gonna get it. Say like Fast and Furious or Jurassic World is coming out. I think new people are gonna go see it because it's kind of new to them, and I don't think they're gonna get closed off from what has happened in the past from it. With this new one, with if they make sequels from here on out, I think they'll be into the first Jurassic World. The second one comes out, they're not going to have nods necessarily from the original that you're not going to get if you haven't seen the new Jurassic World. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if that's confusing.
Right.
Right.
I think they do a good job too of making you want to go back and rewatch.
Right, just like I said. Yeah.
The older ones.
Yeah, because when I see the trailers for it, I've seen the original ones, but then that makes me, if someone like my daughter wants to go see it,
right.
she's excited to go see it, stuff like that, I would want to say, well, let's watch the original one so you can kind of get the backstory of it. So, it leads up to that. So that makes me want to go and watch those ones again. Because I honestly haven't seen those ones in a really long time either.
Right.
Probably like a year or two.
Yeah.
So it makes me want to go back and kind of watch them and remember the past.
Right.
What has happened. So then another brings up another topic is like I said, is there too many sequels, prequels, non-original type movies that are out right now? Which, when I looked up the top grossing movies of the last decade, there was six movies.
Wow.
That were strictly original, meaning not based off a book or an earlier movie or a sequel, prequel, reboot to a movie.
Okay.
And they are Avatar. Obviously,
Avatar,
like almost $3 billion.
Now we have 3 more of those coming out.
Right. So then that goes into a different category now. The 2 Pixar movies were Finding Nemo and Up. They actually grossed like 500 million, close to to $1 billion, but up there. I think all those Pixar movies are all somewhat original.
Yeah.
They're not necessarily based on anything, which is good. I think that is really good for them.
Yeah.
They're bringing
quite a
back
few sequels lately, but
right. They do sequels, but their originals, are usually very well done.
Oh yeah.
They're not lacking at all.
Yeah.
And then the other one was 2012, which I don't know if that's I don't know. That was pretty terrible. We'll just say that.
Yeah, I didn't care to see it.
Right. And then Interstellar and Inception by
Interstellar. Oh, nice.
So those two, which were amazing and top grossing, so it can come out with original stuff that does well. That grosses a lot of money.
Right.
And you were saying last week,
Pixar or Christopher Nolan.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Or I guess James Cameron.
Yeah.
You're saying that it's too much of a risk, for them to do an original nowadays. It's kind of too much of a risk, too much of a risk for money.
Right.
Where you can easily make a sequel. There's a fan base and they're gonna go see it.
Right.
So I think that's a terrible way of thinking, and with obviously 6 out of I think there was like over 100 movies. They're all
proven.
Just money makers, instant money makers easily. But those ones should be able to pay for all the original ones that come out that people don't necessarily go out and see or go and look for.
Right.
So I think if you want to go see an original movie, they're definitely out there. You just kind of have to look out for them. Maybe look up certain actors with directors. They're not going to be the big blockbusters with 20 different trailers. They're going to be kind of one trailer. And you need to go see it because there are a lot of good original movies that are even independent ones that aren't necessarily wide release that you should probably go and check out.
Yeah.
To help out that industry. Do you have any news today?
Well, Jared Leto came out with a photo of himself as the Joker.
Mm-hmm.
What were your thoughts on that, buddy?
My thoughts are it was pretty amazing. I heard a lot of comments like it's kind of like a joke, or like if someone were to come up with their idea of like almost like a cosplay of him, this is what it would look like. But I think it totally works. I think it's a different kind of Joker than what you were used to when you saw Heath Ledger play him.
Right.
It's a different kind. I think.
Which is perfect.
Right. It's gonna be totally different. He's gonna be a little more crazy, out of his mind.
Well, that's what I got. I was just like, damn, that guy looks crazy.
Right. Totally out of his mind.
Not like a funny fake cosplay type thing.
Right.
Like,
which it didn't make sense. That's just kind of what
I just was like, that guy's disturbed.
Right. So I'm excited for it. I mean, it's a good look. I'm excited they're kind of releasing these kind of cool photos of him dressed up. So I'm kind of excited to see what the other costumes look like.
Yeah. I don't understand how why we're so quick to judge the whole movie based on one picture of.
Right.
And I heard that there may or may not even be tattoos like that. Like that they might have just been drawn on for just
It's possible,
as a
but
trial or something.
it doesn't matter.
But
It's the whole. I think it kind of.
this is a different interpretation.
Right. I think it's kind of like goes to the
And-
to the tell of the tone of the movie, or like the tone of the Joker, and like kind of like that whole thing. It's gonna be kind of crazy and dark, and I think it's gonna be good.
Yeah.
It's gonna be dark because of David Ayer, but I think
Right.
it'll
Well,
be-
I mean, it's called the Suicide Squad. Like,
Mhm.
I hope it's dark. I mean, dark. Dark for the superhero movie.
hopefully a rated R superhero movie.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Then we'll have 2 in 1 year with
Mhm.
Deadpool and the Suicide Squad. Hopefully.
Yeah, that'd be great. Some other news. I'm not sure. They narrowed down the Spider-Man actors to
Oh, yeah.
5 different actors.
5 different actors. Okay.
Younger actors.
Mhm.
There's Nat Wolff from The Fault in Our Stars. Asa, is it Asa?
Asa.
Asa.
Mhm.
Asa Butterfield from Ender's Game. He was the kid in Ender's Game, which I
Yeah.
think is
He made
Top
a
runner.
great choice.
I think that'd be
I'd
good.
like that.
And then Tom Holland he's going to be in the Spielberg in the Heart of the Sea. He's like one of the younger kids in the Heart of the
Yeah.
Sea.
Ron Howard.
Ron Howard,
Ron
I'm
Howard
sorry.
one.
I thought it was,
Yeah. He was in The Impossible. He was the oldest of the 3 boys. in The
which
Impossible.
was a good movie.
Amazing movie.
Mhm.
Definitely check that one out if you haven't seen it.
And then, what was it? Timothy
Timothy Chalamet.
Chalamet. He was
From
in Interstellar.
Interstellar,
He was
right.
the young kid from Interstellar, which,
Okay.
yeah, I don't know. He wasn't in it for too long, so.
Yeah.
But it's
So
cool that he's
some
in
kind
it.
of some unknowns.
Yeah, and then
a little
Liam
bit.
James
Liam James.
from
Okay.
The Killing and Psych TV series.
TV shows. And the way back.
movie.
That was at Sundance a couple
Independent,
years
yeah.
ago. That had Steve Carell and Sam Rockwell in it. That was a good movie too.
Yeah, it was. So some interesting picks. They should be picking them, I think, soon, very soon, because they gotta. So that's another news that came out today was that they're gonna shoot Civil War, or they're gonna shoot Avengers Part 1 and 2 back to back.
Right.
In
Like,
one whole year.
Which will take over almost a whole year.
Right. So they're all gonna be working the whole entire year next year, which is insane.
That's nuts.
right.
That's
So.
crazy.
Yeah, so and then with Civil War and then with Avengers and all that kind of stuff, we're gonna be hearing lots of big
Yeah.
news.
Just
coming
makes
out
sense
soon.
though for their schedules and everything.
Right.
And then with Spider-Man, didn't they release like a
Tentative
rumored tentative title?
Right,
Like,
which I didn't see. Did you see what it was?
I want to say it's like Spider-Man, the
Spidey or Spider?
spideyest spider that ever spidered. No, like the newest Avenger or something like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It had Avenger in the
Yeah,
title?
it had Avenger in the title. They
Oh,
want to
interesting.
again, make sure
That's
that
good,
you know
though.
that it's going to be part of.
He will be a part of the Avengers.
Yes.
Mhm.
Awesome. What have you been watching lately?
So, I have... What the hell have I been watching? I've been watching... Well, I finished Daredevil
Awesome.
TV series. Did
Yeah,
you finish
I
that?
have not finished it yet.
It's a shame.
Yeah.
So I won't say too much, but it ends on a good note. Kind of, it all comes together at the very end, kind of how you'd expect, and it ends kind of how you'd expect. But it ended it well with the series, and I know they signed on for another series,
Right.
which will come out next year.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that, and I think it's a good dark TV show that it
Definitely.
was perfect for Netflix to show. And you actually get to see his suit at the very end too,
Cool.
which is cool. The way they introduce it, and yeah, no, it's exciting. I'm
Nice.
looking forward to
Yeah,
seeing
I'm
where it
excited
goes from here.
to wrap it up.
Some
My
new
wife and I have been a little bit slow on watching it.
Behind.
Since, yeah, a little bit
But yeah.
behind.
but that's cool. So, but yeah, it ends well. It's good. I'm gonna continue watching it,
For sure.
and yeah,
That's awesome.
it's a must watch.
Well, Charlie Cox, who plays
To binge on.
Daredevil, just came out and said like some, I guess, wishes that he hopes for the
Mhm.
second season is Punisher
Mm-hmm.
in the second season. So that'd be sick. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. Probably not, but
That'd
that'd be way
awesome.
cool.
That would be fun.
Make the Punisher like
I
a
miss
season-long villain or something.
I miss the Punisher because they did some pretty awful movies for him, and they haven't done anything since. And,
I heard that
miss
the
it.
director's cut of the first Punisher was actually pretty good, which I haven't seen. I think I've just seen
I
the
haven't seen
theatrical
it. Yeah.
version.
I didn't know
So
there was.
I didn't know.
Interesting.
Might have to go
do
back
that.
and-
yeah.
And check that out. But I like Thomas Jane a lot as the Punisher. I
He did a
thought
good job.
he was awesome.
Well, yeah, they did
just-
that, the PG-13 version, and they did a rated R version, and it was just not well done.
Yeah,
They had the opportunity to do something with it, and it fell flat.
Yeah, and like Travolta just kind of hamming it up, and like it's just like
It was really bad.
kind of a misfire there
Yeah, I
too.
think so.
Anyways,
And then I rewatched Interstellar because it's rewatching it again. It was even more amazing the second time.
yeah,
Like just because I watched it. Everybody was gone at the house.
Mhm.
No kids in the house.
Yeah.
I cranked up the surround sound.
Nice.
And watched it.
Gotta
with that.
do it.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
It was just it hit me and it was so emotional
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Like with the organ and the going, it was amazing. Like it was like rewatching. It was like watching it for the first time again.
That's awesome.
It was great. So that was a good watch. Cool. And then I watched Dark Knight again. I kind of, with the Joker picture being released, I kind of wanted to go back and look at that, and then also kind of compare it to Interstellar.
Yeah.
To it, and I think there's some his tones are always so on the same level, but also like so original with each of his movies that he does, and he's an amazing director. And yeah, it was good.
Awesome.
What else? What do you watch?
No joke, we were actually watching Boy Meets World. We've been binge watching that. It's really good. It actually holds up really well. It's a good show.
Well, it lasted for a while.
Ben Savage was, man, even as a kid, like his charisma is awesome.
Oh yeah, it was there.
This is a really funny show. Like the lessons are all very relevant to today. So we're watching that a little bit, which is fun. And then we saw a couple in theaters. Hallie and I saw Child 44 with Tom Hardy and Noomi Rapace and Gary Oldman. And it's very slow, but it's good. It's a slow. I mean, you can definitely tell it's a book adaptation.
Okay, yeah.
Lot of characters and
lots of talking.
Yeah.
Lots of cinematography.
Lots of cinematography. Beautiful cinematography.
That's good.
Shots of trains and going through the Russian wilderness, but. It was good. I really liked it. The performances were really good, and it definitely gets away from there's a lot of subplots and gets away from the main plot of the child murder.
So kind of takes you
the
out,
Child
maybe.
44 is like the 44th killing that this serial killer is committed, and it turns out to be one of Tom Hardy's fellow soldiers and friends. But yeah, so it's very long, very slow, but I think it's worth checking it out, like to rent maybe.
Right on.
And then you and I just saw my favorite movie of the year so far, I think, Ex Machina, which that was stunning. I thought that was absolutely
very good.
Way cool. And like it makes you think, and
right.
It's very, very eerie. Like the whole undertone is pretty spooky.
Undertone is spooky, and then
like artificial intelligence,
right? And the score, like the soundtrack with it, is scary. And then it takes place in this billionaire's
estate.
It's like his house, but it's like also like a lab,
right?
For like where he creates this AI, and you think the world of this guy, played by
Oscar Isaac.
Oscar Isaac. He creates this AI, and he gets somebody from his company to come down and interact with the AI to see if he passes the Turing test, which is basically a test to see if the person can tell if it's an AI or not, if it would pass as a human, and insanity ensues, and it's pretty scary. Like it's scary and suspenseful.
It's scary in a very real way.
Oh right, right, in a real way, and the ending was amazing. It's not how you think it would end, and it was
really good and makes you think, and dark and
very original, which was good, and something like that. It's only playing in a few theaters here, and not like certainly. And like you said a few weeks ago when we talked about it being a limited release, it grossed the most money in a limited release ever. Yeah.
There's definitely an audience for it. I think it's like thirsty for this original and smart, but yet entertaining, type of movie. So. Definitely check it out.
Yeah.
It's highly recommended.
Highly recommended by me and Casey.
Yes.
Okay. So now we're gonna go into our top 10.
Well, we're gonna start going into our top tens. We're gonna do numbers 10 and 9.
10 and 9
this week. We'll break it up a little bit over the next.
So not only was it
next few
hard for
weeks.
me to come down with 10, and then to number them, I think that even numbering them is going to change even after the fact. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I mean it was a constant battle.
Mhm.
But the awesome part about it is there's just so many movies that like we love
Mhm.
that like come up out of this discussion. It just
Mhm.
makes me so excited to go back and watch all of these movies that are just like coming up like, oh yeah, that and that and that and that. And like it was really really hard to narrow it down to 10
Right.
and then put them in somewhat of an order. I think we're both going to be kind of all over the place with these. So I'm excited
I don't
to
think
see.
that we'll have many.
No,
very
I don't
few
think so.
duplicates, if any.
Yeah, so I'm really excited to get that
Mhm.
rolling today. But
so while we're doing that, I think we're gonna